when she first came to us. Showed high levels of aggression towards the other dogs. Nevaeh is a female, I can guess at Staffy cross boxer. She is very athletic, very strong, energetic, fast runner, and playful dog. She was pretty antisocial. Good. Nope. Bit nervous about putting my hand up here. You're all right, darling. You're all right. She was very headstrong, very difficult to get her focus. She behaved differently to a lot of the other dogs in the way that they performed, based on the fact that when asking to sit, she would sit but wouldn't look at you. So she refused to acknowledge you for quite some time, which made it a little bit more difficult to get to the end result with her. But now, at the other end of the journey, she's actually doing really well. She's right up there. I only recently went out to a trip in public with her and very quickly dropped the halter, very quickly dropped the lead. I had people come up to me and go, gee, she's so well behaved, what a lovely dog, when I had no idea what she had come from. She did so well. She performed really, really highly in a public environment, around other dogs, around other people, around food. It was really impressive to see. The majority of the dogs I see in public are poor performers in comparison to the level that Nevaeh is at. I'm so happy that she has come so far, because at the beginning she proved to be very difficult in her training phase. But now that we're at the other end, she's performing very, very highly. She's definitely in the 90s as far as percentage goes. The only thing left to do for her is to transition her to the full open freedom at the house with the rest of the dogs. And we can only do that with one dog at a time, and Roscoe's in that position at the moment. She was not far behind at all. She had off-lead free time here the other day, performed very, very well. The more time she gets like that, the better. It's a home stretch for her. We're at a really good point in their rehabilitation. One step at a time. You don't want to rush the finish line after coming all this way. For Nevaeh, she's at the point now where she's just been introduced to intense social activities like quad bike run or lure coursing around all the other dogs with no muzzle and no lead. And so she's processing all those scenarios and, seeing them for the first time with no restraints at all. So for her, it's a proving phase. She's ready, and I know she's capable, but is she going to handle it well and be successful, or are we going to have to do some more practice first? Game plan for her is to continue giving her those sessions, and she's going to be ready in a short number of weeks, I'd say. I know she's ready, but you can't turn your back on her and trust that nothing's going to happen. At this point, you're still watching her intently. And then as the sessions go on, you'll start to trust that, oh yeah, she's completely relaxing in the environment. So that's when you start to give her more freedoms. But at this stage, she's at that point where we've gone all the way to as far as we can go on lead. And then now it's like, okay, let's perform off lead as well. So she's just entering that off lead stage, which is a very, very high standard. And she does want to do the right thing, but she is very easily distracted. She is hyper alert and notices everything. And she is very attracted to other dogs being very intense at the same time. And she wants to come over and go, what are we being intense about? Yeah, what's happening? So she's really always keen at a drop of a hat to be involved in something, even if she doesn't know what she's involved in. So that level of intensity, you need to watch, and you need to make sure that it's constructive and not going to be antisocial or destructive. It's not going to make any other dogs feel like they don't want to be around her. You have to train for worst possible scenario. We're training these dogs to be successfully rehomed and go into public and live in someone else's life. So we need to prepare for any possible scenario that we can come up with that this dog is going to behave well. So going from an on-lead performing dog to an off-lead performing dog is a very different stage. And so yeah, she's at a point now where she'll do anything for me on lead, and she does everything for me verbally off lead in a controlled environment. And now it's just proving. It's like, okay, you know what the standard is, you know what I'm asking of you. Let's now go and do it in a very difficult and distracting environment off lead with no restrictions, and you get to really start to see where their head's at. And she is really, really impressive at what the dog she was and how intense she was and how hyper alert she was, her intensity, and then now for her to be able to be calm and be accepting of all the other dogs running around her and tolerate anything pretty much while I'm asking her to ignore it. It's very, very impressive to see.
Can you believe it, Jace?
Big moment. It's a big moment. It's awesome to see, really.
Isn't it? She keeps checking in with you.
Check